they do and what they're, you know, if they have a leader in there that's calling the shots for them to actually move on to another round. Waiting on Hadaway to ready up here. Seems as if one of them went to the restroom and then another did after he got back, like they were taking turns here. So we're have to see if they ready up soon here. I mean, do you have any predictions for this game? Do you think that we're going to see the red team take this game number 2 and move to the finals, or will it see a comeback from the blue team, taking it to a third match, with, especially with Mikasa moving to Xiaopo?
You know, Muffin Stuffers has been playing with my emotions so far. At the beginning of the last game, I said that they had the advantage. I was really interested in seeing what they had brought to the table here, especially with that Guardian build, very aggressive. Veil running with the Scholar runes. It's a very aggressive playstyle, especially something that we don't see too much of, especially in high tier play. So it's kind of refreshing to see. And they made that big comeback. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna side with blue team again, especially because of that comeback at the end. I'm gonna side with blue team this time. That's my prediction. But red team, they have control of these team fights.
Yeah, take a
So
look
blue
at
team
some
has to do something.
and taking a look at some opening splits here. We do have some stealth play coming out from Hephius and Hadaway here. Looks like they were just looking to see if any crossers from the blue team here, but obviously there weren't. So Pipsqueak Soul is going to be out on the middle of this point, actually on his side here. Not a lot of aggressive play from either team. Ooh, there we have Appseed. Just as I said, not a lot of aggressive play. Appseed's going to come in here, put a lot of, trying to get a lot of burst, but actually didn't land much of it. Not having that hammer, that's pretty, risky taking the greatsword over. Hephius isn't in downstate though. He is going to be fully cleaved. Oh, Pipsqueak and Rigger go down. So much cleave coming out from the blue team. Excellent opening as opposed to the last game from the blue team, and probably going to allow them to take an early lead here at the start of this second game here.
Yeah, and right like that, tons of cleave. That's what blue team has to offer. That just insane amount of cleave, and with now Mikasa switching over, Katsumi switching over to his warrior, they have a little bit more support now. They have a little bit of more team play that they can get out of, and now they're going to have a lot of control moving over to this 3v1 with Hadaway under some pressure. But Veil already gets bursted by, I believe that was Hephius. Yeah, it was Hephius bursting him down, so he's going to be dropped in downstate. Hephius under some trouble though. Appeased is going to go for the res, and it looks like Basic is going to help him there. I don't agree with that battle
I'm not
standard
exactly
at all.
agreeing with that banner.
That was a good move at all.
That was a 4v1 situation. Mikasa threw down the banner. I think he might have panicked a little. That wasn't the greatest banner I've seen all tournament long. That's for sure. Red team is going to reclaim their home though, but blue team pressuring so hard here. Good maneuver from them to, just bail out of that. A lot of respawns coming out from the red. They're just going to cap that and move into this point. But Pyro is in a horrible position. Manages to get out of there with that lightning flash. But even so, Valiant's right on top of him.
Yeah, it looks like Blue actually has a lot of control of these team fights. It looks like that warrior swap and a couple of adjustments to the communication and the way that they engage these team fights is all that they really needed. Now with Trigen or Pyrofox here under a lot of pressure, he does not have any of his cantrips, so if they focus him, he's going to be dropping really quickly, especially if it's that DPS Guardian there. It looks like Hephius under a lot of pressure as well, but he's going to get off the point and re-stealth. Blue team has a lot of control here. It looks like with Appeased now at full health again, they're going to try to get some counter pressure on him because they know that he can't deal with it. But it's pretty much just going to be, oh boy, Soul, so much damage on Soul right now. Soul gets dropped. Soul is in downstate. It looks like Mikasa is going to get the stomp, and he does. Blue team wins yet another skirmish fight here.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Valiant he went the long way, all the way around towards the red team's base, onto that henge node to get the decap, yet again setting the red team back. Now over a 100-point lead for the blue team. Just the opening splits for both teams, in the last game and then now in this game, have really set the pace for the rest of the match overall. I'm definitely thinking the blue team had the clear advantage with that swap from Mikasa from Ranger to Warrior, but that's definitely not going to make that big of a difference, I don't think. He's really good at Warrior, don't get me wrong, but the red team should not be doing this poorly at the start of this game compared to what they did in the last game, just because of one swap. I think there has to be something else there. They didn't do the same opening they did the last game. I think they need to once again try something tricky at the start of the game to get that early lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like now with Basic Oh, they actually managed to cancel that stomp there, and looks like they're going to try to get the res, but there's a lot of DPS being dropped on there, a lot of cleave. It looks like red team actually might get a little bit of headway on this fight here. A ton of DPS being dropped on top of Appease right now, but they're going to go all in onto Trigender here, and he's gonna be real low here. If they can get anything on him.
Oh, he's got his water to me. He didn't swap.
He's vapor. He's down. He's down.
Oh man, he didn't use his water to me. He instead went to Earth to get the protection.
Appease is down as well. Appease is down as well.
Oh man,
so
if they get
that
rally
fight.
The banner comes out, but I'm not exactly sure. That wasn't
the
red
stomp on Pyro. The stomp on Pyro. He's out. He is completely out. It looks like Blue might actually win this fight here. Did not look so good for them for a second there, and yet another rally fight. But Vale actually is going to get that stomp with the Shadow Return there. Yeah, really,
I
really
believe
great
I
job
saw
there.
a banner come out from Pipsqueak, but it didn't actually manage to get Pyro up. Maybe it wasn't on top of him.
That was indeed his. That was indeed his.
That was his. I looked at the cooldown.
It was 30 seconds ago, though, so it was a little before. It was probably for the other...
No. I was watching it, and I looked at his cooldowns. Like, it came down. I'm a little confused. And I'm also confused as to why Pyro decided to swap to Earth Attunement rather than Water. He could have kept himself alive with the Water swap and the Lightning Flash up to the ledge, but... You know, ultimately, that was the turning point of this team fight right now. Red team's definitely not out of it, but Pipsqueak is super overextended here. Really needs to back off and get some peels. He does go down with a couple of shots remaining. We'll have to see if they get the stomp here. So much damage coming out on opposite here. He does go into the downstate. Will they get the stomp on him? Actually, they managed to get the res, almost get the res on the Soul. Good fear coming out from Hadaway there. The stomp comes out on the Soul, rallying the DPS Guardian here. So good turnaround for the team.
Appease doing as much damage as he can pretty much until he gets downstated, at which point he gets rallied. That's pretty much been the case for the past 2 minutes or so. Just kind of rolling around, trying to get as much damage out, and then he drops into downstate and gets rallied. That's what we've seen for the past 2 minutes here at Graveyard.
Yeah, I mean, despite the odd build that this Guardian is running, you know, it's doing a lot.
He actually did switch. He actually did switch to 01616.
Oh,
so he did switch.
That okay, so no wonder it's doing a lot more damage. Just, you know, he swapped the build. My first impression of seeing the build was that it wasn't Hammer, so that was odd enough on top of the fact that he had strange traits. But it's a little bit more meta now that he is running the appropriate traits for that build. And it's definitely going to help him out without a lot more damage in team support.
The biggest change I think that they made, and I believe it was not necessarily just build based or whatever, is that they went more for a team support style. They got Katsumi or Mikasa over onto his warrior for that shout bow that gave them that extra healing, that extra Condi clearing that they really needed. A little bit more Condi pressure as well. Not strong, but you know it's there for sure. To give cover and stuff, and then they got appeased over on the 01616 with the virtue support. That does a lot to help out the team. He did actually take Shield in Mind over not Absolute Resolution, over the Virtue of Courage.
Yes. I mean, he doesn't have the stability for himself, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna give
the biggest thing is that they got the team support out of those two players there, and that's what's kind of carrying them through these team fights here, allowing them to control this node and allowing them to take this into Game 3, I believe.
Yeah, and they're already calling GG. I mean, very big change there from Mikasa and Appease. That's going to really, that definitely set the pace for this game. GG's being called out from both teams. Go ahead and end this one right now. I don't think the red team, they just kind of gave up there. I mean, some big team fights coming out from blue, and that opening split really set the pace for them, allowing them to take that 2-cap and building a lead right from the start. The red team, they could have done some stuff a little bit better to get back into it, but this is a huge snowball map. They are going to be moving on to the third map, the Battle of Kylo, to see how both teams are going to react, and, adapt to each other on this map. As it's, like I said, this is the second time we've went to this map this entire tournament, and most teams don't have a lot of experience on this map, as a team, that is. And regardless of whether or not these teams are bugs, this is not one of the most favorite maps in the game, so it's not voted on in map selection very often. So even so, they're not going to have as much practice on this map.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens here. They do have that DPS guard and Thief pairing there for quick mobility up into the node. However, that change did happen, so I don't know if that'll do too much for them, for the DPS guard at least. So we'll have to see what happens. I'm going to go ahead, in terms of my prediction, I'm going to ask you after, put you on the spot. But in terms of my prediction, I'm going to say blue team has it this time. They're playing the same thing as they did last game. They have a lot of control in those team fights, something that red team is used to having. I don't think they really know how to kind of get into those skirmishes, pull them apart, string them along, and control those side nodes there. So
yeah,
I'm gonna put you on the spot. What do you think?
I am going to go the other way around. I think that the red team, now they know what they're up against. I think that the ledges at the clock tower are really going to behoove Hadaway here. And I think it's going to allow him to put out a lot of pressure on the blue team, despite the teleports from Appeased and Valiant. I think it's going to allow for them to actually take this game. I think Hadaway is the key component to them winning this series here. And if he manages his positioning and his cooldowns effectively, they can take this game. But I wouldn't be surprised to see blue take this game at all. I just feel like positionally, the red team has a slight advantage. But obviously that's only because of Hadaway being DPS, Kandi Necro, and he's able to, put out his marks from a lot of places at the clock tower here. We're going to have to see how, the blue team reacts to him and if they're able to shut him down like they did last game. So we have two different opinions here. We're going to have to see who takes this one and moves on to the finals. So the winner of this will be moving on to the finals, guaranteeing themselves at least 800 gems per person. So this is quite, this is a very intense match here. Have to see if the red team can take it and come back after that very demoralizing loss, or if the blue team can stay on the roll here and take this game number 3.
Seize theirs.
Taking a look at the opening splits, red team's a little bit more passive here. They're going to be putting two members of their team moving to that windmill node just to make sure there are no crossers. And they're going to be pushing 2 members to the far node. So it looks like once again they have the interesting opening. They're going to be playing 3-point here. Trebuchet hit coming out from Valiant on the blue team. Pipsqueak Skull's kind of he's forced out of this node. Red team holding the only point here in winning Mansion here as they just took out Basic here. Excellent opening from the red team. I'm not exactly sure why Dong went for the Trebuchet there of the red team, seeing as no one was actually on it. But the red team's really got to bail out of mid right now and get to this windmill before the decap comes out. Actually, decap, there's no way they're going to stop this. So despite that excellent opening once again, just a little slow on the rotations at the start of this game. And they get the decap on mid though. So they're going to get this full cap regardless, I think, unless we do see Appeased get on the point he does. This is a very strange
and Dongs is rolling in as well.
Yeah.
This is a little bit, in my opinion, a little bit. I would have to say, like, if I'm not going too far, a little sloppy on the rotations, a little bit, maybe even from both teams there. But blue team is going to manage to get clock tower. There's a little fight happening over here on the windmill that looks like Mikasa's in a 1v2 versus the other Xiaopo warrior and the DDLE there. Looks like the DDLE is going to try to put some pressure down. So that's going to be unfolding whilst the Mansion fight unfolds. It looks like they're going to actually get Hadaway off, and Basic is going to manage to get that.
But at the mid node, we do see Hephius. He is going to get that decap possibly. I mean, there's still... they have the crate still down on the point. It's not going to do a whole lot to him. Got an immob on the point on him. But looks like everybody's going to be moving on to this midpoint here. We do have a Shadow Refuge coming out there from Hephius, just a little off point. Hadaway's in the downstate as well. A lot of damage coming out. He's not able to stay onto this as Pyro is in the downstate. So is Hadaway. Banner coming out. It does get up Pyro, but Hadaway had to get manually res there. So they get both of them up there, and 1 cap coming out from each team here. And now we're going to see a huge team fight from both. Hadaway just checking on his home node there just to make sure that nobody was actually going to come decap here. But once again, we're going to see 5v5. Actually, we see Pyro pulling out of the mid node, going to be going for that Mansion, but definitely has an Engineer on top of him, so he might be forced back in the mid node. Meanwhile, Appeased is getting pretty low on cooldowns here. There's nothing left for another 2-3 seconds here. He will have 1 heal. He's going to stay, shy away from this fight and try and get some cooldowns up before he goes back in. Rigger getting super low as well. He does have Slick Shoes, but his heal's not up for another 15 seconds. He needs to get out of this team fight right now if he wants to stay alive.
Yeah, absolutely. This could go either way right now with Rigger low, Appeased low as well. Appeased with no cooldowns right now. Especially, oh, Rigger actually gets dropped right there. Tons of bursts being dropped on him. They're going to probably leave him to be cleaved just as Hephius is dropped, but he gets rezzed there. So he's going to look to try to +1 that fight on Vale, and Vale will definitely die here. Oh, there it is. Vale is dropped there. So they're going to get that cap right there. But it's 2 cap right now in favor of the blue team. They're going to start getting their score. Red team needs to get a regroup going right now so that they can make sure that they get some of this cap going.
Yeah, some slow rotations from the blue team. They had 3 members of their team just just sitting at the midpoint while Basic was in a 1v2. They're going to force him out of that, get that decap, which is really bad for the blue team, seeing as they wanted to build the lead there. Meanwhile, on this windmill, Hatui will be getting, or excuse me, Hadaway will be getting that cap. And a 2v2 forming, excuse me, 3v2 forming now as Basic comes back into the fight at this mansion. And red team really needs to reinforce this unless they want to lose this fight and once again give blue team the 3 cap, or excuse me, 2 cap.
Yeah, P's low as well, but he actually manages to get his cooldowns out, so he's going to be okay for the time being. Looks like their target for the blue team there is going to be Pyro. They have him already below 50% health here, and he has no defensive cooldowns to speak of. He's on the point, he's getting cleaved out, he's got immobilized, and he's going to be dropping pretty soon. He's into water form though, so he might be okay.
He's
just for a little bit longer. Oh no. Oh, he's down, but they're actually going to...
Heath
oh,
goes
he
down.
vapors.
Heath is so low. Look at Heath. Gets his heal off, but so much cleave coming out from Valiant. I mean, that dagger auto attack.
Pipsqueak did not have his banner. Pipsqueak did not have his banner, so he was not able to save them. And it looks like Vale is going to go for the follow-through kill there onto Soul. So Soul's going to be under a little bit of pressure there, and they're actually going to kill him and probably leave him to bleed there off node, and they do indeed. So Blue now with a little bit of a controlling lead here, going over to the clock tower to get some pressure there and try to get this 2 cap back into their favor.
Yeah, definitely. So I think red teams, you know, they're kind of not doing amazing right now in terms of rotations and team fights, but they're not out of this game. Obviously, there's only a 20-point lead. If Dongs gets his decap, that's going to be crucial for them. He doesn't, obviously, the FGS Lightning Flash coming out from Pyro there, so they should be okay there. They need to regroup right now. They've got Rigger just moving around towards Mansion in a 1v1. They've got a downstate on the midpoint, 2 people coming off respawn. Good job for both of those members of that team. The red team pushing to the home point. They need to regroup right now because this is straight conquest, guys. I mean, there's no comeback on this map in terms of 150 Lord Brush or getting both Spawnier and Chieftain. This is conquest. So if you get behind early or in the middle of this game, it's going to be really hard to force a comeback.
Yeah, and it looks like Rigger is going to be dropped here with Mikasa helping out his teammate Basic here, but just in time, Hephius rolling in with Soul. They're going to get out a lot of heals for him. They're going to roll in with Basic here under some pressure already, so this could actually turn around into red team's favor. The crate goes down now from Basic, and it looks like they're going to have a little bit more control here. Now with Rigger getting dropped right out of the fight, they're going to probably, looks like they're going to cleave that out, but the res is going to be tried as well. He's still really high on HP. Basic under a lot of pressure, so this still can be turned. The banner does come out, yes, and Basic is extremely far off point and getting heavily pressured, and he's going to be dropped way out of position here.
Oh man, banner's coming out from Mikasa. Mikasa does get the banner on a Basic there as he ran away. No interrupts coming out from Hadaway or Hephius there as they were both cleaving. Rigger's getting super low once again, has no cooldowns. Valiant does get right on top of him with that Heartseeker steal right on him, but then the Shadow Refuge comes out trying to get the res onto him. A lot of cleave coming out. They do manage to get the res onto Rigger, which is going to be crucial if they want to win this fight. You know, they're getting close to that 100-point deficit here, and that's not looking too good for them, as they are in a 4v4 situation here while there's a 1v1 at the midpoint. It looks like they might be piecing out of this fight, moving to mid. As they finally get the decap, Pyro is winning this 1v1 against Appeased, and that's actually a good move. A rotation out of that fight as they're fighting on the cap node for the blue team and moving to the decap node at mid.
However, Hadaway, sorry, I almost said the wrong one again. Hadaway is dropped, but it looks like they're going to get the res, and they do actually manage to get that, but pretty much turned into a trade because Hephius is down off node, so he's going to try to get some cleave, but it looks like Appeased is going to go ahead and rally him as that Treb finishes Appeased off. Oh, uh-oh. I don't know. They both actually wind up dying. Appeased wasn't actually able to get a hit off before he went down, so they both wound up dying. No one actually rallied there.
Despite that cap at the midpoint, good Treb play, Dongs does get the decap at the windmill node, and Hadaway's in a 1v2 situation with Mikasa in area 2. He's in a, you know, they need to do something right now. They need to get to their home point. I don't think pushing for that mansion point's a very good idea, seeing as it's already full cap for them. Blue team having the 2 cap now. They could have fought on a decapped windmill rather than a capped point. Hephius going right underneath him in that stealth there. Dongs did drop on the other side, so they will get that decap here. Meanwhile, Pyro is in a 1v1, now making a 1v2 at the mansion. Possibly a 1v3. Valiant's going to +1 it once again. Needs to get out of here if he wants to keep his team in this game.
Yeah, it looks like Blue is going to chase him away they're actually going to maintain that cap there. But in the meantime, Hadaway does cap out Windmill. They do have Clock Tower now, but Appeased is kind of trying to get some damage in onto Soul. They actually manages to knock Soul off of the point, and there's the Immobilize too, just to solidify it. Soul is under a lot of pressure here. He's probably going to be dropped very, very shortly if they can't get some counter pressure onto Appeased, and it looks like he's going to be chased off point there as Hadaway and Rigger move in, as well as Dongs from the blue team.
Yeah, that's not good whatsoever for Red. If they would have held that 2-cap, they could have got back into this game easily. They are down only about 90 points, but blue team getting close to that 350 mark here, making their way to 400 quite quickly. If they win this mid-fight, that's probably going to be game for them, and they will be moving on to the semis. But I'm not going to speak too soon because this mid-fight isn't one for either team. Obviously, the blue team has the health pool advantage. Actually, Appeased is getting pretty low here. Has no cooldowns up.
So
he has
is
his
Soul.
heal.
So is Soul.
Soul getting super low as well. Doesn't have any cooldowns for 10 seconds. He's probably going to go down here.
The Slick Shoes canceled out the shelter there. COP comes out. He has nothing left, so it looks like it's Rigger versus Appeased here. Appeased. Oh, the Treb comes in and cancels Appeased. Appeased is in downstate, still on the point.
Oh, the decap coming out from Rigger. Oh, man. Oh, Appeased does get up. Appeased Vengeances. Are we going to see the Stomp coming out on, or excuse me, not Appeased. We saw Soul Vengeance, excuse me. Oh, man, it looks like Appeased did die here. Appeased did die here. Sorry about that, guys. And it looks like Soul's going to go down and Rigger here. That's not going to be too good for the red team at all.
Oh, no. It looks like Hephius actually managed to get the damage there. Great job there, putting in the pressure onto Basic. It looks like red team's going to get a little bit of a comeback going here. They have control of the side nodes as well as a little bit of a good start on Clock Tower. It looks like they left Mikasa to go ahead and get that Villain moving in as well. So they're gonna blue team's gonna manage to hold Clock Tower for the time being. They're definitely going to be able to control that. They're going to hold on to that for as long as possible because they're so close to winning and because red team is so far away. If they can hold this node, then they'll be in a good spot. However, red team is now trebbing onto
that
Clock
pin down
Tower.
got onto the they almost got the decap. Almost got the decap.
This Treb could be the end of it, though. This Treb could be the end of it. But
decap
however,
came out, though.
The decap, yes, exactly. The decap did come out. Appeased managed to get it. There's a 2v1 happening right now from blue team onto Pyro, and Mikasa is moving in as well. I don't really think that's a great idea for the rotation unless someone's going to move off, but it looks like they're going to. I don't really think that was a great idea.
Yeah, this is looking pretty. Not so pretty for the red team right here. They do have that 2-cap, but blue team only needs 1 cap to win this game right now. And they do have 441 points, moving towards that 500 point mark very quickly now. I don't even think they're going to attempt for a second node. I mean, actually, we do have Appeased and Dong moving into the mid node, but as long as they have somebody sit on the mansion, they should be okay and move into the finals of this tournament.
Yeah, it definitely looks like blue team has control. Right now, we have that 2v2 happening on mansion right now, and it looks like blue team has the control. They're going to knock Hephius off. It looks like Mikasa is just going to kind of pester him in his SR there. So it also looks like Pipsqueak is going to lose that fight on mid, and he's dropped into downstate. So there goes the decap onto that Clock Tower node. It looks like Muffin is going to take this in Game 3 and go on.
Yeah, Muffin Stuffer is doing an excellent job this game of, despite there was some sparks of hope coming out from the red team here, being bred, but unfortunately for their sake, they will be eliminated from this tournament, assuming they don't get this decap onto this mansion node. Not looking good for them at all. Basic does get pretty low, but they are going to get that stomp eventually here onto Rigger. So GG's already been called out for the teams. And it looks like we're going to be seeing the Muffin Stuffers moving on to the finals to take on the indestructible Teddy Bears. Any thoughts on that matchup? I mean, you predicted it correctly, unlike I. But, I mean, for the most part, I kind of expected it, but I wanted to go with the underdog, the red team.
Red team wins a capture point.
Yeah, the changes that they made going into Game 2 is definitely what solidified their win, and it's going to be interesting going into the finals, where I believe they're going up against Seraphs?
No, they are going up.
Indestructible Teddy Bears.
Yes, Seraphs had a close run at them. I believe they had a 490 to 500 first game and a very close second game, so that one probably could have went either way as well, but Teddy Bears obviously moving on to the finals, where they will be taking on the Muffin Stuffers here. But we do have 2 more giveaways for this for tonight, guys. We are going to do one right after this break here, so we are going to get this started here. Hang on 1 second. So our second raffle of tonight, the giveaway will be a self-style hair kit. You must be following to win the prize, and you need to say !raffle in the Twitch chat to be entered into that. So go ahead and do that, guys, and we'll have our winner after this short break. Welcome back, everybody, to the finals of the Academy Gaming Weekly number 14. We have the Muffin Stuffers up against the Indestructible Teddy Bears for our final matchup tonight. First place winners obviously will take home 10,000 gems, 2,000 gems per person, and second place will be getting 4,000 gems, that being 800 per person. We do have our giveaway to finalize right now. This is our second one of the night. We'll have a third one, which will be the final one after the finals have concluded, which will be a gem code to give away. So let's go ahead and get our winner for this evening. The winner of this one is Eshefe. He is following. So go ahead, Eshefe. Make sure you message me via Twitch with your account name .1234. Again, make sure you message me via Twitch with your account name .1234, and we will go ahead and get that sent to you after this tournament has concluded. But let's go ahead and take a look at the builds for both teams. As we already have seen the Teddy Bears here, or excuse me, the Muffin Stuffers. We have seen the blue team here. Do you want to go ahead and take us over the Indestructible Teddy Bears here, X?
Yeah, absolutely. Looking over first here at Swag Lord Sassy. He's going to be on Warrior. He's going to be running the typical Shout Bow build. He's going to be running it as usual with Rune the Soldier, Celestial Amulet, the traits being pretty standard with 10463. Next up, we got Hit Girl. Hit Girl's going to be running actually a Dagger Pistol build with Pack Runes and Berserker Amulet, which is pretty normal. She is actually going to be running it with Venomous Aura. That's going to be for the Immobilize. So she's going to be running with 60602. That's going to be for that Devour Venom and the Bassi Venom pre-buff going into those engagements. Getting a lot of, especially paired with that Panic Strike that's in there. Oh, actually, no, sorry. The Residual Venom. The Residual Venom is going to be there for that very, very, very heavy Immobilize. So that's going to be pretty deadly, especially in team fights, as well as that Basilisk Venom. Going now to No Heart Feelings. He's going to be running Hammer, Scepter, Focus, Pack Runes, and Berserker Amulet. That Guardian build we've seen as of late a lot, 01616 with the Medis. Going on to Casualty, he's going to be running 62006 Well build, it looks like, and he's going to be running it with Dagger Warhorn instead of the Axe. A lot more damage pressure there. He's going to be running with Sigil of Rage there, so a lot of burst on that auto attack from Dagger if he does get that proc at the right time. Rune of the Pack, Berserker Amulet on that build as well with the staff. And last we got Garm here. He's going to be running DD Ellie. He's got the same setup that we've seen as of late with the Geomancy Sigil over the Energy with the Celestial Amulet, of course with the Holbrak runes as well. The traits being standard as well with 00266.
Let's go take a quick look at the blue team. We did just see him in the last two games here. So taking a look at basic, he's going to be running Sully Rifle with Vampirism runes, and his traits are going to be 60044. Next we got Dongs, who's going to be running the same build except with Olbrek runes, and his traits will be 60044 as well. Next we've got Appease. He's going to be playing DPS Guardian with the Great Sword, Sword Focus, Strength runes as well, and his traits are going to be 01616. Next, we've got Valiant, who's going to be playing the Thief for this team. He'll be running with Dagger, Pistol, Shortbow with Scholar runes. His traits are going to be 26006. And finally, we've got Mikasa, who's going to be playing Shoutbow for this team, with the traits being 10463. Any predictions for this game while we get these teams readied up?
You know, I'm going to go with Red Team this time, and it's pretty much just going to be because I'm super hyped about this Downstate Necro build that we've got here. I'm super hyped about it with this triple well system that could be happening. I'm pretty
hyped too about it. I think they're gonna take it, and I don't think it's gonna be necessarily just because of the Power Necro. I think Hit Girl running the Venom Share build is gonna add a lot to that. You know, he's gonna be running Devour Venom and Bassi Venom. The lockdown is gonna be real. I mean, imagine Casualty getting the Dark Pact and Mob on him with the wells, including the Devour Venom. On top of that, from multiple people, the mobs are going to be real, and I don't think they're going to be able to get it off. I think they're going to be surprised right at the start, and I think Red Team's going to take an early 2-cap, possibly an early 3-cap if they push 3 nodes here. We'll have to see how the blue team reacts to these builds that the Red Team's running.
I'm very excited about a potential MO bomb setup. This could be really deadly. This could be something that might actually make your eyes bleed.
That is definitely a possibility. I mean, a blue team had a couple scares in the last series we saw, but this red team, you know, they come in pretty hot. They had some very close matches against Seraphs that could have definitely went either way here. So we're gonna have to see. First time seeing them all night in the finals here. So hopefully We're going to see some interesting play from them as they are starting out with a 4-person split out of the side gate here, and the blue team not pushing anybody whatsoever. They're all in stealth. Ooh, this could be deadly if they put the damage out onto the right targets here. Let's take a look at
Oh no, here's the clash, here's the clash.
They already all have Venoms, so we'll have to see who they focus here. All the blue team members coming in stealth. Oh, they get a hit on Valiant. Valiant's in stealth though, so they aren't able to actually lock him down.
Uh-oh, there's the Wells. The Wells are dropped on top of Dongs. Dongs under a lot of pressure. Casualty as well, but he's going to get his... Casualty under a lot of pressure too. It did not look like they got the start that they wanted necessarily, but Hit Girl's Venoms, the Bassi is already going to be up again, and Devour was already recasted, so with Bassi being up again, they might get a lot of pressure down again. D-Dog's under a lot of stress right now. He is so low. If they can just get another couple of hits on him, he will drop. But Appeased is on the point, getting the cap right now, and they're going to get the full cap. So it's going to be 1-1 here. With actually, look over at the western node there. Look over at Henge. With Swaglord Sassy getting both side nodes by herself.
Oh man, I mean at the midpoint though, Casualty was taken out, so there's no hard feelings. But despite that, Red Team taking the early 2-cap, not going to be out of this game by any means, just because of the fact they got those side points right there. An excellent job from Swaglord, making good use of that mobility despite his team losing that mid fight. Gives them an exit strategy. I like that opening split. If a team pushes 3 points or something, if they lose that midpoint, they have the sides to bail to if they need to, and they've got multiple Celestial people here at this point, so they're able to stay alive long enough to make sure that their respawns get here and do a lot of damage to this blue team.
Yeah, but with Garm really low right now, he's getting pulled into a bunch of DPS dropped by Appeased, as well as Veil. Veil gonna probably take him down, but he has Venom, so he might be able to turn.
Coming out from Hit Girl.
The counter bomb from Hit Girl with the Venoms coming out absolutely canceled Veil. They're gonna cleave him out. He's out of it, so they're gonna go back onto the node here. They already have the 2-cap. Tons of pressure being dropped right now. Appeased is super low, no cooldowns to speak of, and he's gonna be dropped as well. This is outstanding coming from the red team right now.
Yeah, definitely. So look at the members of the red team. All 5 at this Henge node. Excellent rotation from Basic. Basic going to get this free decap, potentially full cap, as long as Valiant is able to hold off No Hard Feelings here at the beach node. It looks like he's going to put a lot of damage on the No Hard Feelings. Meanwhile, the red team is going to be moving 3 members onto this mid node, which they'll be outnumbering him once again here. So this is looking really good. Great rotations from the red team and the blue team overall. Neither of these teams seem to have superior rotations. It's all about these team fights right now. No Hard Feelings is going to get that full cap. Banner coming out onto these steps here, able to res a member of the blue team. And looks like we got a 2-cap once again coming out on the sides for the red.
This is definitely one of those comps that a few friends, were getting ready to do some unranked and they were picking their classes, and someone in TeamSpeak was like, wouldn't it be funny if? And they just rolled with it, and it's actually really exciting to watch seeing something like this, even though it is pretty hard to play against with all the county pressure, all the CC coming from the shared Bassi, the shared Emob, the Wells being dropped as well. The team fights are probably impossible to fight against. It still is something new to watch, something a little bit more exciting, at least in my eyes, than what we've seen as of late.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, the blue team just struggling to grapple themselves in a team fight and win it. The red team just superior team fights despite losing the one at the beginning. They had great rotations to get out of that, hold a second node for respawns to get there, and now they're just kind of struggling around the map. They don't know where they want to go. They are actually pushing to mine with 2 members of their team, so that's a start for the most part. If they're able to get that decap here on mine, that would be huge, as they can't let this 2-tap tick. Otherwise, the red team's just going to get a bigger and bigger lead at by the second here.
Absolutely, definitely red team getting some control. Kind of Appeased, like as you're saying right now, definitely getting pushed off a little bit. They're going to kind of get into a weird skirmish here next to the little overpass a little bit. Veil now downstated, Mikasa under pressure, Appeased being forced off. This Venom share is just absolutely annihilating them. The Wells get dropped on top of Mikasa. He's under a lot of pressure. They're going to chase him out. He's probably actually going to get dropped as they have all those players rotate. But if looking at Henge right now, it looks like Dongs as well as Basic, both NGs from the blue team, putting tons of pressure down and dropping Garm into the downstate. he's going to have to get Vapored onto that node. There he goes, onto the node, to make sure that they don't get that cap.
Yeah, blue team doing an excellent job of rotating out of the mine, getting that 2v1 on the henge, and taking the attention of the red team away from that point to the mine point. And a decap going to be coming out from Valiant. We could see a potential 3-cap come. Actually, no, excuse me. The blue team actually just rotated out of that fight. That's an excellent rotation, as Appease did die there. So red team going to be holding the 1-cap here, but blue team going to be, get back into this game with the 2-cap, being down only 100 points here. That's not bad given the certain circumstances that they're in right now. Valiant actually not going to get this full cap, as Garm's going to come in here and make sure that he doesn't get it quite so easily. They got 3 members of the red team just around this mine point here. Valiant kind of unsure of what he wants to do. The red team doing an excellent job of, keeping the blue team out of the points here, but not great rotations as of late from blue. I mean, they're rotating into mid very slow right now, and red team, they're going to have their reinforcements within a couple seconds here. Lich coming out from Casualty as well. That's going to put out a lot of heat onto the blue.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's the Lich, as he said, and Peas dropped into downstate. The Lich is still up. They're going to have to do something about that Lich, or else he's going to free cast all day on Appease and drop him, and he does. Sassy is down right now, and it looks like they're going to actually get the res.
Ooh, they get the res just barely!
Just in time. They actually managed to get the stealth just to cover it, just in case. Great job right there. So it looks like they're going to drop Basic down right now, and red team's going to get control of this fight. However, yeah, it does look like red team is going to get control over this fight, and Dongs is going to be dropped here or chased out. But
yeah,
that
right was there. A huge turnaround. If they would have gotten that stomp, that could have been the other way around right now, and we could see a 2-cap coming in for the blue team. But rather than that, we're going to see a 2-cap coming up for the red. Garm is in a 1v1 against Mikasa here at this mine point. A lot of reinforcements coming from red after that one mid fight. 3 of the members of their team going to try and take down Valiant in the midst over here. He did get a stealth off, so he is going to be okay. But red team with the 2-cap now just going to continue to build their commanding lead in this game.
Yeah, and we have to remember that this is just game 1, so we could see blue team kind of turn this around. They'll know what they're up against. This is something weird that maybe they probably haven't fought before. This team is still kind of new, so they're probably not used to seeing something like Venom shared downstate neck or that kind of thing. So they know what they're up against next time. They might be able to fare a little bit better, but just as we saw on the last setup on this very same map, this game is not yet over, and as we see now, the fight on mid is still expanding. Red team rolling in hot though. Casualty is moving in, tons of pressure down. Appeased is getting chased off. He's super low. Basic is right next to him trying to get some support, but he doesn't actually manage to get it off, and they're just going to cleave them all right on top of each other. Basic managed to get his vampirism set off, so he's going to be able to make it away from that mist, but Dongs might not have the same fate.
Yeah, I don't think Dongs is going to get out of there alive. There is a fight brewing on the henge node. It looks like Garm's going to try and pressure Mikasa, but that's going to be a long 1v1. And multiple members of the blue team actually going to be moving over to +1 that. So, I mean, the red team, good peel out from Garm getting out of that node. He doesn't want to put his team in a bad situation. We'll have to see if he gets out of there alive. But he's going to get pressured by the DPS guard now. Peas making his way over there. Getting some peels from his team. Looks like this game is probably going to go in favor of the red team here, despite multiple very good attempts for the most part from the blue team to get back into this game. But red team just had some great team fights and great rotations that really solidified the win for him here.
Yeah, right off the start, if we can go back to that, right off the start, Sassy managing to get the home node as well as slide in behind members of the blue team and managed to get Henge as well. So they had that early 2-cap and gained that really early on advantage. I definitely really think that had a lot, like a very pivotal part or role, in making sure that they had this big lead, this big momentum build up in the early game.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, that opening split was pretty good. I mean, like I said, it wasn't an actual 3-point opening. It was a 2-point opening, and this, aside from going to, instead of going to the midpoint, we had Swaglord peel round through the beach node to get the full cap on Henge, despite multiple members of his team actually dying at the mid node. They all, they were able to hold on to Henge because they had their Celestial classes over there, able to, hold on to that, make sure they get reinforcements, and eventually get to the point where they have now won this game in quite a good fashion, over a 200-point lead for them.
So going into Legacy, I definitely have to put favor on the red team again, and say that they probably are gonna wind up taking this in this round. Hopefully, I don't turn out to be an idiot after saying that, but with the comp that they're running, with their ability to lock people down, I just don't see blue team really being able to turn this around and win those graveyard fights like they were versus the last matchup. So I really see this going in red team's favor. However, I would like to be proven wrong and take this into game 3.
Yeah, I'd like to see this one go into a game 3. We've already seen 2 best-of-3 series that have went to a game 3 this evening, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this become a third one here, as both teams have very good players on their team and able to put it together as a whole. I mean, in the last series, we did see the blue team drop this map to a very good the Inbred, I believe that was their name, to a very good inbred team for the most part there. Still phrased a little bit awkwardly there, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the blue team take this map, but my bet is going to be on red once again. Just waiting on the blue team members to ready up here, and we will go ahead and finish this series if the red team manages to take it, or the blue team taking it to a game 3. After this series has concluded, we do have one final giveaway of the night. It will be a gem code. So definitely stick around for that if you are wanting to, get something off the gem store. 800 gems is quite a significant amount, as it costs $10. So it is also redeemable on NA and EU. So if anybody happens to be on EU here, gem codes are redeemable there as well.
Just not China.
Yeah, it's just not China. If anybody happens to have an account over there. Being on basic to go ahead and ready up. Doesn't look like any switches from either team. If anything, I would suspect switches from the blue team here. Doesn't look like so. I do want to point out Mikasa did take Endure Pain last game over Fear Me. I did, hover over that a little bit, but just something to point out there. Less CC, but obviously able to mitigate a lot of damage that comes out from Phantom, Casualty, and Hit Girl. So our second game of this best-of-3 series, if the red team manages to take it, they will win this tournament.
Hold on to your points.
The blue team takes it. We will be moving to a game number 3. Taking a look at opening splits. One team member for each team going to their home points here. Possibly some very offensive openings, as we have some stealth play coming out from red. Let's take a look at what they're going to be doing over here. Could put out the hurt onto the blue team if they manage to land a lot of their damage. Mikasa is the primary target, interesting enough. Only about half is healthful, but managed to.
He is out of cooldowns.
He's out of cooldowns, yeah.
So, and now he's about to be out of dodge rolls, and there's the dodge roll. So he's going to try to leap out, and they're going to manage to get him out of the fight for the time being. If we look over at Hikro, Hikro has both of his cooldowns ready. However, he just got him moved in air, which is basically a stun. So good luck.
Wow.
Oh no.
That was interesting. I haven't seen somebody bend a mob that high ever in Guild Wars 2. I mean, I know the emote bug is around, but that high of an emote is quite amazing. Cost getting super low. He does go into the down state here. I have to see if the res comes out. There's so much cleave, but No Hard Feelings goes down as well. Who gets to stomp off first? A lot of cleave going on to No Hard Feelings. They are going to get the stomp onto him, which does get up Mikasa.
Hikro goes down too. Oh
and
boy,
Fresh
red team
Prince.
is falling apart
Ooh.
right now. Blue team, Mikasa is going into the downstate too, but it looks like he's going to rally, and he does. Appeased is very low, but it looks like with Garm down right now and Sassy very, very low with no ability to get Garm up, it looks like blue team is going to take this. They already have the lead because of those 2 kills that they have already gotten over the red team.
I do want to point out Swaglord did bring the banner out for No Hard Feelings, but it was a little too late as he went down. Waste of a huge cooldown for the most part there, but blue team, obviously, they're not pushing for a 3-node push right now, which is really good. Both teams are doing what they should be doing right now after that lost fight. Red team's regrouping. Blue team's being a little cautious. They're not overextending. It wouldn't have been bad for them to actually push out of that onto the quarry, see if they get a decap and peel out. But it's not a bad decision for them not to do that as well. They're a 2-point playing team here. So they're going to be stealthing up here and moving into this fight again, and we'll have to see what the red team does to change this. Swaglor is actually pushing for the waterfall
there's the Lich.
node.
There's the Lich. Mikasa actually endures the Lich for the time being, but Endure is out, so he's going to have to leap away, but the Lich is still up. But Casualty is getting absolutely dropped, but he manages to get into Death Shroud with that down state of Basic right now. And also Appeased is very low too, but he manages to get out. So red team commanding this midpoint right now. Mikasa being kind of pushed around at the moment with Casualty very, very low with no defensive cooldowns at the moment. So we'll have to see how he defends Casualty so that they can put more damage down. Appeased is in the down state right now. It looks like they're going to manage to get him cleaved out right now with Mikasa also potentially going to be dropped as well. The banner comes out.
Doesn't actually get a piece up. So that's a little bit of a...
Alright, they're definitely going to get the stomp or the cleave here with Mikasa down as well.
Yeah, red team's going to be getting that cap at the midpoint, and it looks like Hit Girl did take out Valiant in that 1v1 at the quarry node, so that's an interesting little split there for those Steves to be taking each other on the 1v1. I mean, Hit Girl's not a 1v1 class. I mean, not class, excuse me, build. He's running Venom Shear for crying out loud, so very interesting to see him actually take out Valiant. We're going to have to see how the blue team reacts to that lost team fight here, especially since the red team is really overextending here and pressuring them hard on their home point.
Yeah, I definitely see them potentially getting a 3-cap here with Basic down. Blue team kind of scattered. If you look at them on the map right now coming out of the spawn, they don't really seem like they know where to go at the moment. It looks like they're going to try to get a regroup going, try to kind of play this as a team, but it looks like they might be separate. I don't know. We'll have to see what blue team does. They're being very slow about this, which is not what you want to do.
I think they're waiting for Basic, but I think they could have came in. They were waiting for two of their so Basic was in like a 1v3 at his home node on Waterfall, and 2 members of the blue team came off respawn, but 2 were still waiting. They chose not to push into that. They finally have Basic off respawn, only down 20-30 points here. They're going to get their home node back as the red team's not going to overextend. They're going to play 2 points here, which is not a bad idea for them, seeing as it's what the blue team did earlier, but they ended up losing that mid-fight. So, actually, red team's going to be pushing in hard. A lot of damage coming out from No Hard Feelings. Rain coming out for blue team as well, so red team really pressuring
so much
hard
damage
here.
being brought upon Mikasa and Appeased together in a cleave. Appeased is going to be dropped pretty soon. Veil is already down. Veil is going to be cleaved out. Appeased is down next to him, and Appeased is going to get cleaved out as well. Dongs is going to try to move in to get something going. They have double crate going right now from blue team, and they're just looking for anything. Yeah, they a little bit late maybe on the crate, but it looks like red team again with the commanding team fight presence here. Dongs under so much pressure. The Life Blast spam is coming out onto Dongs, and that puts him down. He is in down state, and red team wins the waterfall for the 3-cap.
They had both crates out there. Casualty didn't even have Lich up, and they still lost that team fight. I mean, that was a great regroup regardless, but due to it failing, they are now down 100 points instead of 20. We do have a decap coming out from Mikasa on the quarry node, which is, it's good. He's going to be in a 1v1 against Swag Lord, so on the decap node here. But this is where the real action is here at the waterfall node. A lot of damage coming out from Casualty. He has Lich up out of his Death Shroud here, so I wouldn't be surprised to see if he pops that any second now.
Yeah, and Veil is in downstate with Basic right next to him, very, very low. Appeased is into downstate as well, so that's another 3-man wipe. So much cleave coming here. Whenever Hit Girl and No Hard Feelings are together, it's just so much damage pressure, so much lockdown, Casualty in there as well. You know, that's such a ridiculous pairing. Garm rolled in as well at the end there, so that's just so much damage pressure. I just don't see blue team being able to answer this in this round.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, Dong did +1 Mikasa here at the quarry node. It's going to be a 2v2 now as rotations are finally coming out from the red team all the way from the waterfall. I mean, this is a decap node. Sure, that's okay, but they really got to do something elsewhere if they want to win this game.
Yeah, something has to change, absolutely. Red team now overpowering them because of the fact that they're all kind of rolling in from being dead. Dong's really under pressure right now. Casualty strolling in just to help finish off Mikasa with the wells. He gets that unblockable interrupt there. So much damage, exactly. Yeah.
He still has Lich up. He didn't even use Lich either. I mean, he's had that up for at least a couple minutes now. No need to even use it. I'm sure he'll be using it just for props here any second, as we do have a fight finally on the waterfall node once again. They do have decap nodes though, so taking a look at the midpoint, Casualty is in a 3v1 with this team. They do finally take out Basic at the mid node. He's going to Lich anyways for the BM. Man, the BM Lich coming out from Casualty. No need for it whatsoever. Valiant going to throw down the Shadow Refuge, but there's no way that's Valiant taken down in 2 auto attacks from that Lich. Wow. Absolute domination from Red right now.
I'm just astounded at this point. Seeing someone come in with Venom Share, something that has been kind of happening in other parts of the game, not necessarily PvP, at least as a trend. Having it come into PvP and be so, just be so effective.
I know. I mean, overall, it's great for this team right now. It's doing wonders. But I mean, this coordination coming from this red team is excellent. Despite the opening, split from the blue team, which was great. They got them the 2-cap, got them the early lead. But I mean, just from after they lost another team fight, they just crumbled. I mean, absolute domination ever since from the red team. So much damage coming out from Casualty and Hit Girl. It's unbelievable what this red team has been doing this game.
Yeah, and the thing about running the Venoms is that build doesn't necessarily lack a lot of the damage. I mean, lacks a little bit of the burst, but since it still has 6 in the power tree, you still get those decent hits, still has, 60% crit chance with the Fury, so it still does a decent amount of damage. Definitely not as much as like a standard Panic Strike or a 26006 or something like that, but still has a lot of damage, and what the Venoms provide is just so much synergy with the team. So much support, being able to provide that lockdown utility for that ridiculous Necro Cleave.
Yeah, I know, and it looks like both teams are done here. They do just absolutely dominate basic right there with standing still. And the GG's definitely been calling from both teams here. So we are going to be seeing Indestructible Teddy Bears taking this tournament for the second week in a row. Different players, though. These definitely different players from both teams. I believe, Hadaway was who we saw in the last series was on this team last week. So great games overall. Any comments on that final end result from that match? Did it astonish you just what just happened that game? I thought maybe it'd be a little bit closer, but what are your thoughts on it?
Like I said, the Venoms is something that has been kind of creeping about in other parts of the game, especially in World versus World. It's definitely become somewhat of a trend. I haven't seen it yet too much in PvP, especially in tournament play. So when I first saw the Venomous Aura being placed in there, I was kind of intrigued, to say the least, to see how it would fare in this scenario. And I don't even know what to say at this point. I mean, the Aura, the Venoms are just. The team fights, oh my god.
I know, it is
ridiculous.
I do want to cut you off really quick. I do want to say we do have our final giveaway of the night. We're going to be doing that in just a minute here. You can actually enter it right now. Reminder, you must be following the channel to actually be entered into the giveaway. So go ahead and type in !raffle in the Twitch chat to be entered into it. The final giveaway is a gem code, 800 gems. So definitely enter that if you want a chance at winning it. But like you said, absolute domination from the red team that last game. That was pretty astonishing just to see Hit Girl do wonders with the Venom Share, and the fact that there was only 2 Venoms. A lot of Venom Share thieves you'll see 3, maybe 4, just going all out with 5 perhaps. But in a tournament setting like this, taking 2 is definitely understandable over something like 3. You can't go all out Venom Share and expect to do amazing with it unless the other team is just clueless about what you're doing for your team. So definitely a lot of good plays coming out from the red team there, allowing them to take this tournament and, win themselves 10,000 gems, 2,000 per person here. So definitely some good play from both teams. But overall, obviously, Indestructible Teddy Bears has the upper advantage. We're going to go ahead on a quick 60-second break right now, guys, so we can go ahead and get your names into the raffle here. And we'll be back with the final results of the raffle and send you on your way. We'll be right back.